Welcome to the 17th door of our MBSE Podcast Advent Calendar. Today, we take a look at the modeling of parametric.
The parametric diagram depicts a network of constraints that constrain properties of the system. If your modeling tool is able to execute the parametrics, it could be an extremely effective modeling approach.
So, let's have a look at it in our model.
First, we need the expressions which are defined by constraint blocks. The lower constraint block specifies a min-max expression using three parameters, min value, max value, and value, which are each typed by our value type centimeter.
The constraint block trunk stand connection constraint verifies that the trunk fits into the stand. It does not define a constraint, but owns a constraint property typed by our min-max constraint block.
The parametric diagram is a special kind of an internal block diagram, which depicts how parameters of the constraints are connected with other parameters or value properties.
The parametric diagram shows the internal structure of the trunk stand connection constraint, which simply connects its parameters with the appropriate internal constraint parameters of the min-max constraint block.
We defined a constraint property of type trunk stand connection constraint owned by our system to use this constraint for the MBSE podcast Christmas tree.
In a parametric diagram of the TMPCT base architecture, we connect the parameters of the constraint with the appropriate value properties of the system. The value properties already have defined default values. However, they could be redefined later by the specialized properties in the physical architecture.
We also added another interesting constraint property, which is the constraint block height of the tree, which is a constraint block and a requirement at the same time. Since SysML 1.5, any named model element can also be a requirement.
The requirement and constraint block height of the tree requires and verifies that the height of the tree is between 150 and 200 centimeters.
The parametric diagram of the system element, the MBSE podcast Christmas tree, shows how everything is connected.
Our modeling tool can also run the constraints.
When we instantiate our TMPCT system element, we see in the output that constraints are satisfied. The tool then displays the corresponding area in green.
So much for the 17th door of our MBSE Podcast Advent Calendar, and we wish you a great 17th of December.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.